Good morning. Welcome to this week episode of Politics and Power. Another weekend gone, and it's another new week again. And as usual, this is Nigeria, and every day we tend to, as we head towards the 2023 election, we are confronted with new challenges. And I have with me this morning a civil society, an activist, the person of Reverend Olu Martins. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
We're going to start off the conversation this way, and this issue of ASIN, as far as the INEC office is concerned. We had the one that happened over the weekend in the Southwest State where PVCs were damaged. Do you think this is a strategic move by some persons because you are a member of the Labour Party, and a lot of persons, they feel that the persons that make up the Labour Party or the voting population, the young minds, they actually got engaged with this recent wave of the obedient movement, and many of them just registered and they've not gotten their PVC, and so lots of their PVC, they are still with INEC yet to be collected. And we're having this issue of INEC offices being burned down. Do you think is a way to shortchange your party in the forthcoming election?
Well, perhaps. And it's important for me to make this clarification. And many of us began this trip as being purely obedient simpliciter, all right? But we realized that as we moved along the road, the ballot boxes were not going to bear any inscription of obedience. They were going to be Labour Party. So we decided that wherever Peter B went to, even if he joined Catholic Women Organization tomorrow, we'll be there. So by extension, we are now members of, Labour Party. But beyond that, we have also come to understand what the Labour Party stands for, and we appreciate it. Before now, we have been advocating for a third leg, a third option, because we had been tired moving between the traditional political parties of the PDP, and then if you like, maybe the AD, that became ACD, that became AC, that became ACN, and has become APC. And so naturally, many of us found ourselves gravitating towards a more vibrant, younger fellow in the person of Peter Obi. And if you understand what political power is in this country, that's why people have argued that we should instead have geoeconomic zones, because there's too much emphasis on politics. What we have now is geopolitical zones, and nobody is talking about the economic stuff. Everybody thinks that the easiest way to get to the top is to be part of a political contraption, because it's in Nigeria that you can trek into a political party and then you win a political office, and then you have not even left the place. You have come back with a supercar. Yeah. The gestation period for politics is shorter than any other business that you know of. So that's why people do whatever it is that they can do, and then there are conspiracy theories here and there. So it is not, the apple may not have fallen far from the tree. In your conjecture, when you say it may be an attempt to sabotage the now massive entropy of young people who have moved into the Labour Party. But of course, it's not also the first time that this happens. It's almost a seasonal thing.
Every election.
An INEC office will be burnt, an INEC office will be burnt. That's because we have wannabe political leaders. Because there's a difference in real leadership and political office. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, what we have is people who have assumed that because they hold political office, they are also leaders. It is not until they leave office they realize that people don't store names, people store offices. People store CP of police, they don't add his name to it. Yeah. So we meant to change the CP, we just also change the name. Yes. We also edit it and change the number. So when you leave office, nobody is calling you because you are an office occupier, you are not a leader. And it's those kind of persons who they are the people who want to aspire to political office, or those who are currently they want to renew their office, inspire them to do whatever they can to sabotage the efforts of young people who have determined that Nigeria, must change. But one thing these people don't always realize, and even external people, is that there's something that you can't take away from Nigeria, is their resilience. Because permutations, economic permutations here and there was a point in time that some people felt that because of the COVID-19, dead bodies were going to litter Nigeria and Africa. But there's something about the Nigerian people. It is their resilience. And the young people have also imbibed this resilience, and I've told them that no matter what they do, we're still going to go out, and vote for our preferred candidate. We still have 3 months. Yeah, so even if we want to sabotage the process, we still have 3 months for INEC, to rectify the PVCs that may have been burnt, and then to do something about, enlisting those people so they are not disenfranchised, because it's not their fault that the offices were burnt.
When we're talking about resilience, I think a few weeks ago, the governor of Edo State, His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki, made a statement that trended online, where he said that the Labour Party, the obedient movement, the youths that made up the movement, very soon they are going to run out of steam. And so what's your take on that, please? Honestly
speaking, I hate to talk about Governor Godwin Obaseki. I'm saying so because of our perception of him. It is in this state, it's on record in this state that for the first time in this state, people refused money to ensure that he comes back for the second time. We saw during his election for a second time, people the opposition party trying to distribute money, and people collected the money from them and threw them away. So for him, people refused money. That's because we considered him a technocrat. We don't think that he was going to be swimming in the murky waters of politics. We just thought that he would do whatever he wants to do, like Fashola was doing in Lagos. Fashola allowed his predecessor to do the dirty politics. Fashola didn't bother much about what happens with politics. So when I talk about Governor Obaseki in that regard, it breaks my heart. Because he's not coming from the typical political circle, he's coming from the organized private sector. And he has friends there who do things differently. But unfortunately, it looks like he has surrounded himself with people who have fed him.
But he's not a politician, that's what it means.
Yes.
Occupying the political position makes you a politician.
So. Yeah, but you see, but the truth of the matter is that when people say, somebody was having an argument with me, I say, we're all politicians. And I say, no, if it's not moral, then it's not political. It was Awolowo that said, we can't divert morality from politics. Because even now, if politics is not a moral game, but Awolowo said, if it's politics, then it's moral. If it's moral, then it's politics. Because you're dealing with human beings. And then you can't, as a politician, now teach your children how to lie. Because you create the impression that because politics can do anything, because politics can kill people. There is no political death. There is whether you did in the name of politics or in the name of he slept with my wife, whatever, you have killed a human being. And then there's a younger generation who are looking at us and want to see how human beings behave. It's not dogs who play politics, it's human beings who play politics. And there's a moral code for being a human being. Otherwise, you move from being a human being to perhaps becoming a lion. This is not the jungle. This is a company of human beings. And that's why if you look abroad, somebody came late in the House of Lords in the UK, and the guy resigned for coming late. Because that's humanity. All right, you see senators who say, look, if call people of X, Y, Z, I will resign. And people resign. So you see young people in that part of society understanding that a politician should be straight. But once you say, in this part of the world, once you say you're a politician, it's as good as saying that you're an armed robber or you're a thief. That's the perception. It means that you cannot be honest. And I said all of that to say, 4 months ago, the same governor made a statement that there was something that was happening. There were a set of restive youths who were now called obedient, who were in every home, including his own home. Because at that time, he had one leg in Labour Party, not sure whether the plethora of court cases were going to favor him. So if he would have moved into Labour Party. So in testing the waters, he made that statement. The same Governor Obaseki that, look, we need to be careful. These young people are active. If later he makes another statement and say they're going to, weigh out. So for me, it's looking like you're talking from both, sides of the mouth. And Bible says a fountain cannot bring hot water and cold water, at the same. That's why it hurts me. Because how we see Governor Obaseki is not how we saw Adams Oshomole. We saw him different. This is a technocrat. If for instance, as you get to politics today, you're a professional. You have a constituency. That's why you see somebody like Reuben Abati has gone back to his constituency. Not unlike these guys whose sustenance is politics. They have no second address. Their first address is government house, their second address is local government house, and their third address is party secretariat. All their life is built around politics. But he is not. He has a thriving outfit. It was from there they seconded him to be the governor, of this state, and by extension, politics. And that's why he says he's the technocrat governor. Technocrat means that we don't do things like these other guys do it. Unfortunately, the no-crat has left him. In fact, the tech is almost leaving him. What we just have now is that he has become a governor, and it's allowing us to see him in the light of how we see the very typical guy. So it breaks our heart to talk about him the way we talk about the typical guys.
One of the reasons why some persons felt he made that statement was because, a lot of persons that made up this Labour Party movement, they had to do it. A lot of them came from the NSAS movement. And you saw how the NSAS struggle ended abruptly. We just wake up one morning because there was this Lekki crisis, and that was the end to NSAS. And so, judging from that, you feel that, okay, if these are the persons that is now coming to tell us that they are the obedient, which means something can happen tomorrow before the election, and they'll fizzle out.
I'm not NSAS. I'm not NSAS.
But you're part of the struggle.
I didn't even leave Edo State. We identified.
But do you agree that majority of the persons in the obedient movement, they are from the NSAS struggle?
No, I think that young people.
No, I know.
No, when you know, because we need to distinguish between what the NSAS stood for and the people who were physically on ground. There was an issue, and very many people thought that there was a problem with the special anti-robbery squad, SAS. The campaigns began by, I've forgotten this guy who is quite popular. He began, there's even this other guy who is, almost looks like he carried the same beard. He began the he began the movement online. So it spread across the nation. Then some people physically came down to Lekki to identify, to put up that barricade there. So the point is that everybody, the young, the old, and the middle age, agree that there's something wrong with our configuration, the police, especially with regards to the NSAS. Just that there were young people who had the energy to be present in Lekki. And so there's a dissatisfaction. That dissatisfaction began with NSAS. But if you listen to NSAS as it went on, it moved into governance. It moved into petrol subsidy. It moved into a whole lot of other things, real issues. Those real issues are still staring up in the face. It was Fela and Nicola Koda say, I know we'll make my brother hungry, make I no talk. I wonder if Fela was alive today, I'm sure that he will have a church. Because he has been more prophetic in his songs than many pastors. All the things that Fela sang about 30 years after, 40 years after, are still staring out in the face. And these are real issues. The NSAS stood for real issues. The real issues are still here. And very many people who participated in the NSAS also found themselves moving their anger from the NSAS and looking, how do we change the system? That's why many of them are supporting somebody who speaks differently, who has a different antecedent. And now there's a system to ensuring change. There's no formal barricade anywhere. What we have is that we are going to get our PVCs. Some of us have our PVCs, and we are going to, if it is NSAS, hopefully we'll be able to end other things. We'll also end bad government. We'll also end looting in government.
Okay, that's fine. Now, I know you don't want to agree fully that the NSAS, you didn't touch that area of the NSAS struggle coming to an end abruptly, and a lot of us just going. It didn't come. Government forced it. You know what I'm talking about? It's emotional, and I don't want to be emotional about it. Government forced it to stop. Okay, good. And people lost their lives, in that regard. And lost interest. They didn't lose interest. It is you have helped me to say they have transferred their interest and transferred into the emergence of Peter Obi. Okay, so why the governor felt that over time something will happen along the line, and these guys they are going to run out of steam. But that's not the issue we're going to look at now. I'm sorry I didn't start on this note by congratulating you for successfully hosting the presidential candidates. Let's even discuss this issue. Is it true? Because we heard what the governor was saying, that you guys didn't apply for a venue on time. I heard the governor say Peter Obi called him. Yes. I didn't say he was coming for a rally. Yes. He was coming to eat black soup. No, he was coming to eat black soup. He was coming to marry second wife. Are you saying that the Obi can call the governor and tell the governor, I'm coming to your, which is I'm coming to visit somebody? Most must come to do rally. No, that's what I'm saying now. He is a presidential aspirant. Okay. Campaigns have been lifted. He is going from state to state. Good. Unfortunately, that discussion, it is your word against my own. Mm-hmm. But the Labour Party, we officially wrote, we even have the reply of the government in our office. They brought the reply from Government House on I was the MC, I compared that event. We were on the platform at about 12 o'clock. That's when they brought the government's reply to our campaign office. And then I heard the governor's explanation. And he says that the pitch has to be maintained in a particular way. There is a warranty on it. Mm-hmm. You are talking as if we played that field, it is men that laid on the ground and then you have to jump. It's grass. All right. And then he says that the reason why PDP was allowed to use the place, it was for commissioning.
It's not that I bought my television a bit. My television was a bit expensive. I would have removed and thrown it away. But when I talk about the price, I say I should pull down.
Those expansion doesn't make sense at all.
Look, if you want to commission a football pitch, you commission it with a match, either a novelty match or a real match. You don't commission a sport complex with a political activity.
I want to ask this question. Okay, now it's that same sport complex that that they use for rallies too, right?
It's the same sport complex.
Okay, that means you can use the sport complex for rallies.
For rally.
Okay, but any other person can use it for rally.
It was built with taxpayers' money.
No, but we've seen
it's part of inside. It's inside it.
We've seen in the past where they use the sports complex for rallies, right? Which means that rally is part of the things you do in the sports complex.
Absolutely.
If he's going to commission it with a rally, I don't think there's anything bad.
No, you see, it's called commissioning.
Okay.
It's official.
Okay.
When you, for instance, is that if you buy a car and then you want to drive or you want to test if the car is working, what do?
But according to the information,
you drive the car.
Was not even directly involved with the the declining of your application. They have a director in the sports commission.
It's okay. We're happy that God or the devil used him because he reigned that day. So it was good that somebody used him, whether it was God or the devil. Because if we had used the sport complex, the rains would have affected us where we. But when we were under a secured place. So all things work together for good. So we must thank the governor for refusing us because he drove us to a better place. Moreover, if he had conscripted us, so to speak, to the stadium, the whole of Edo State would not have become our rally ground. We turned the whole of Edo State to the rally ground. It was like Jericho. Nobody went in. Nobody came out. It's difficult to stop an idea whose time has come. Bible says that the Egyptians made things, the king made things more difficult for the Israelites. The more he made things difficult for them, the more he empowered them to be progressive and the more he empowered them to spread. So it's good. He's creating the impression that he is politically intolerant in spite of the explanation. The application didn't come on time. We should worry. Are we not the one that will set up? Are we asking to set up for us? We are the ones that should worry. We are the ones that should worry to say we didn't apply on time. Give us the application whenever you want to give it to. But to now say, oh, it didn't come on time. You are not setting up for us. All the things you are doing, the only thing you are doing for us to open the stadium. We are the ones that should bother to say the time is not enough. So I don't want to. Let's second base. Let's move away from.
I want to ask you, Reverend Martins. I'm sorry. This one is very personal to me. That's why I'm asking you this question. Is there a place, maybe a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, where you guys teach your members aggression?
But. Aggression is not. I
don't. I want to be very.
No, they are not. The aggression is not even enough.
It's like okay.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. Now you guys attack everybody. We are opposes. Everybody that opposes.
We are united by hunger.
So you fire anybody that comes.
Water. They're going to collect. Look, we are united by hunger. You don't buy petrol cheaper in the north.
Okay.
You don't buy bread cheaper in the south.
Okay.
There's nowhere you change dollar cheaper anywhere. Bride price increased. Okay. Everywhere there's chaos and commotion, everywhere. And then people are asking us to be tolerant. We're not even as aggressive as the average Britons would be. We gave Liz Truss 46 days was out of office. The same thing with Gordon Brown. Do you read what the Americans say about the American president?
I'm coming. Your principal is signing a peace accord when you guys are not peaceful online and offline.
That's what I'm saying. That look, a hungry man is a super angry man.
No, is it good for the polity? A situation when I have an opposing view, I should have my candidate. That's why it's called election. We have more than 18 candidates or 18 political parties contesting, and I'll tell you that this is the person I'm supporting, and you are attacking me for supporting my choice. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on what you call attack. It's about interpretation. It's the same thing as your father. It's about interpretation. So it depends on how you interpret it. But I do agree with you. But the problem is that Nigerians have had it. That's just the point. So the ruling class should understand that people are dissatisfied. Edmund Burke says that all that evil needs to triumph is for good men to be quiet in the periods of violence and moral decadence. These people have been in the dungeons of oppression for too long. So the only way they can express themselves, it happened to, even in the Bible. The Bible says at one point in time, the people thought that Moses was taking too long when he went to meet God. And they had to find an Aaron who said, you know what, make us anything but APC or PDP. Anywhere we can get out of the present place that we're in. I'm not sure I'm in the right place to apologize, but the truth of the matter is that everybody is dissatisfied.
So once you see that is supporting another candidate, you attack the president.
Unfortunately, everybody is not like that. So let's not also benchmark it.
Majority. I think your principal tried to address this.
I don't know if there's a census on that. You understand what I'm saying? Let us also forget that there are people who operate pseudo accounts who pretend to be obedient, who quote and unquote, because they want to sell this impression that obedient people are aggressive. They are the rank and files of Israelites were infiltrated by the Egyptians. So I will not be surprised if there is massive infiltration, and these infiltrations are those who are super aggressive. I mean, it's politics. Anything can happen in politics. But we have also consistently appealed to people to say, please, let's be civil in your expression. But how could you have told in the time of what's his name again? In the time of Nelson Mandela, for South Africans to be civil. I watched an interview when they're telling him that look at your friends. Your friends are Ayatollah Khomeini. Your friends are Saddam Hussein. The people that the West think do not obey human rights. And the man made a statement. He said, my friends are those who are concerned about what concerns us. What concerns us right now is the emancipation of our people. So if, quote and unquote, an armed robber should support the emancipation of our people, that armed robber is my friend. What concerns Nigerians and Nigerian youth right now are people that will take us out of this conundrum, out of these doldrums of oppression. And unfortunately, you can't tell them how to express themselves. It is in their discipline that they have expressed themselves the way they have expressed themselves. I would appeal that people should look beyond their choice and look at the pain in their heart. Nigerians have pain in their hearts.
Don't you think you should better advise your people to mind their choice of language than people looking beyond their choice of language?
Yeah, it is the same thing. What you have said is 6. You have said half a dozen. It's the same thing. I've just said the same thing.
Okay, now, beyond politics, after politics, we move straight to governance. I want to ask you this straight question. If your party fails to clinch the presidency, what happens?
He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. There's another tomorrow. And I do not even think
You're
that...
actually the first obedient that is sounding this way.
Oh, there's a tomorrow.
Because they just feel that Nigeria will collapse if they don't get it.
The truth of the matter is that nature takes its course. I'm not the one that will pronounce whether Nigeria will collapse, but nature takes its course. Elections must be free, fair, and transparent. And it must be seen by all to be free, fair, and transparent. So if it is seen by all that it is free, fair, and transparent, we will move to the next phase of our agitation. Whatever it is, I do not know. It is when the election is not seen to be free, fair, and transparent that you cannot say what will happen, afterward. But we believe that we have the backing of the gods, that we have the backing of human beings. The day Peter Obi came, he reigned. The day he came, he landed on Thursday, he reigned. Immediately he was about to come into the arena, he reigned. As soon as he got into the arena, he stopped, raining. As soon as he finished, the rain, everywhere was hot. The rains also, died down. How do you explain that? Showers of blessing. Hallelujah.
Oh, thank you very much, Reverend Olu Martins. I like the note in which you're going to end the conversation this morning. The fact that your party, they are ready to move on if the thing doesn't go your way. I think the best I can wish your party is for them to clinch. You guys see the energy you guys are putting in. A lot of persons, they decide to abandon what they are currently doing to ensure they cause this change for us. So
I've decided to be abnormal. So because to be normal, you can't get away. You can't get the result that you want to be normal. I decided to be abnormal. Until after the election, we'll be normal.
I pray this your abnormality is translated into votes.
A constructive abnormality.
I pray it's translated into votes, and you guys.
Plenty. I will also soliciting for your vote too.
But if not my vote, I think I'll be upset that I'm not sure I'll be allowed to go out to vote that day. But if not,
we'll bring ballot box to your office. That's how determined that we are. We must harvest every vote.
That's how far we can go on the show this morning. Thank you very much. It's always a delight having Reverend Olu Martins on set. I think if I decide to ask him another question, it's going to take us another 1 hour to end the show again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Please do not fail to share our content and follow us across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at TSLNIGERIA TV. And please click on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to see our content anytime they drop. Until we come away again on Wednesday with another guest on set. To have a great day.